I'm an urban farmer in the city of Jackson. We actually have 68 acres here in the city. And part of being a farmer in the city is a little different. We have less land base. We practice the way to grow and the way to grow naturally, the way to grow and utilize your land and soil to take better care of the earth. So we're able to grow on smaller amounts of crop space and produce more vegetables at higher quality. There's still obstacles, but less now than before. Being a woman of color, being a black woman in Mississippi, those are hurdles that we had to cross. I have strong shoulders because I have ancestors that had been here long before me that was able to make things happen. For me, it's there, it's accessible. Now I'm gonna know what it is and how to do it. I actually went to hear Michelle Obama talk about digging up the White House lawn and talking about what's in the Farm Bill and how the Farm Bill could help schools and students by getting healthier food inside of schools. And doing that, I got so intrigued on the policy side of what it does and what it can do. But then I also looked at the reality side of what it had not been doing, especially for small farmers throughout this country and especially for black farmers or farmers of color. This Farm Bill had entities inside of it that could work closely with farmers that has less than 1,000 acres. But it actually worked with 1 acre, 2 acres, 5 acres, farmers having less than 50 acres. In this Farm Bill, we were able to add in urban farms. So urban farms is now part of USDA that now have access to a lot of the same funding as non-urban areas. I didn't have to just talk it, I had to do it. So I started growing raised beds and utilizing the programs to then get into goats and fencing, then into high tunnels and actually growing. And all this was done within 6 months of getting out there and utilizing the program. Being an urban farmer and being a new farmer, you have to look at things that are not traditionally. I'm not a traditional farmer. You know, this is not how farming has been done over the years, but this is how it should be done. This is how we should better embrace what agriculture is and what farming is. We're continually looking and researching and talking and telling the story, just like we're doing here, the importance of supporting local farmers, small farmers, the importance of partnering and coming in to partner with a farm in your community. Partnerships is so important. Even if you're a CPA farm, we need your help because we need that partnership. If you're a dressmaker, we need that help because we need that partnership. From the shirts that we wear, from the seeds that we buy, from the healthness and wellness that we talk about, we need everyone to help.
I haven't met a farmer now that doesn't want to have a relationship with a chef. It's the truth. Everybody needs a friendship with a doctor. Every farmer needs a friendship with a chef. A local farmer can work with you. If you only need a pound this week, you only need a pound. They may give you things. They may show up in your restaurant and meet your guests.
We do this together. I have this great guy. He's a great farmer. He's Danny Murray. And Danny has been with me this is our 5th year together. And Danny is originally from the islands. He's from Jamaica. We would talk about the different things and the different food and the different things he would like to grow. And one of the things he told me about is callaloo. He says, we can grow that here.
5 years ago, I started with 7 seed and see what we have all produced from it, 7 seed.
With research and with Danny's help, we were able to grow and still grow today callaloo and sorrel. So these came about from the meeting of different farmers. We have Wendy, who is over our farmer's market, who's actually Danny's wife. This other farmer, his name is Mr. Will. Mr. Will has been with me for the last 3 years, and Mr. Will is a second chancer. He has this energy about himself, about making a difference with everything he does. And we got Ashley, who is part of the back room, and she's packing and learning boxes. It works so well together. We can help you grow more food, more community. It's that we part that makes a difference. And I say this with all love and passion. We are all partners in this together, which is how we do our cooperative here at Footprint Farms. You know, Danny actually has a tunnel. In fact, this is his tunnel. This is actually Danny's tunnel. We're sitting right now in a 30 by 72 high tunnel, HIGH tunnel. And this allows me to grow at least 3 different crops every year in this one space.
High tunnels are extremely important to food production because anytime you can get plants out of certain elements, the weather, it gives them a competitive advantage.
So during the winter months and the late fall, I'm still able to grow things like callaloo. That's traditionally a hot plant. You got to have heat. We also have winter tomatoes inside of these tunnels, which for us in Mississippi is unheard of because of our climate. So these tunnels give me longer time at the end and the beginning.
A high tunnel definitely allows for growers to expand their operation with some more non-traditional plants that may be not native to the area. What a high tunnel does allow is to be able to control some aspect of growing that you may not be able to control if it were out in the elements. So if a crop loves extreme heat and humidity, then guess what? We can do that here in Mississippi under protected culture.
We take a couple 30 days to let the soil regenerate itself because we know the importance of taking care of the soil.
In a high tunnel, you have to water your crops, and most of the irrigation that goes on in high tunnels that's recommended is drip irrigation. You're not putting water all over the field, you're just putting it where that crop needs it, where that plant needs it, directly at that root zone, and guess what? That's doing the right thing at the right place at the right time.
Using the technology has been a major difference for us to be able to have your cell phone, to take a picture of what insect, to go straight to the universities and see what is this. Using technology and having that access makes a better farmer. The way I was looking at this is it was about health. What do we need to do to make our children safer and healthier? When I say safer, I mean safer from disease and from viruses and different things that help to build their immune system. We're inside the city limits of the city of Jackson, and that makes me an urban farmer, but it also gives me opportunity to work closer with communities, and especially our communities are communities that are food deserts or communities who want to look at how we do things differently in the community.
There are areas of Mississippi that are called food deserts, which means that they don't have access to fresh vegetables and fruits within a certain amount of distance.
The whole concept of food deserts is about our ability to access healthy foods. And we see those in rural areas as well as in some urban areas where there has been blight and the businesses have left.
Right now, my farm is zoned a food desert, but we can help them to remove that destination. We don't have any grocery stores, but we have a lot of food. And for us, that makes a difference in our community.
To have a working farm, you have to have sustainability because your structure needs to be strong. If your structure is not right, if you're not going to be able to look 20 years into the future or 30 or 40 years into the future, you don't have sustainability. And a lot of our food deserts and a lot of our food swamps doesn't have sustainability. So that's one of the issues that we have here in Mississippi.
If we think about food insecurity and precision ag, we really want agriculture to be more efficient, because at the end of the day, if the producer can't produce crops or can't produce food at a price that's affordable for the customer, then nobody wins.
Geography definitely affects our health and our health outcomes. People can only choose from the choices available to them. And that really hits the nail on the head when it comes to thinking about the impact of geography.
One of the reasons that Footprint Farms exists is to bring access to healthier, affordable foods to our communities, to any community where there are food deserts, where there's no access. How can we help fight diabetes and hypertension if we don't change the way people eat and give them access to food to eat?
When you don't have the access, people have to try to get around their old habits of going to places that are convenient and fast and cheap.
If you're in an area and you have no grocery stores, and the grocery stores is 5 miles away, 10 miles away, what are you going to eat? You're going to eat whatever you can get that's close to you. In this case, a lot of our little sundry stores. But when you look at what food is in there for food consumption, 100% of your diet or even 50% of your diet, look at what we'll continue to do to ourselves.
The diet is so important because it's the most natural way that the body can heal. If you have something like hypertension or diabetes and you change your diet, the body can start to heal, and there has been an overall cultural shift to learning about how foods can be more natural and can be a source of medicine itself.
We are partnering with Novo Nordisk, which is one of the largest pharmaceutical companies, the maker of insulin in the world. Why is that important to me? Because Mississippi statistics says we have more diabetics and hypertension than anywhere else in the country.
When you look at Mississippi with diabetes, high blood pressure, when you look at a lot of those health issues that runs through Mississippi rapidly, and especially in a lot of the low-lying, urban areas, we all have a voice, and we all need to be talking about that problem.
Novo Nordisk has a program, and it's called From Your House to Our House.
And they want to really change the way people eat, just so you don't have to rely on medication for the rest of your life. Start eating differently.
And by doing it here in Mississippi, they are able to get real data from the health clinics themselves of how well it's working.
We're supplying you with fresh boxes of produce. I am writing the recipes off of the boxes of produce.
They're able to get the food to them, and then they're able to watch their stats. If they are able to cut out of medication, if they lost weight, if they have lowered their blood pressure or the glucose level.
Cindy and myself is writing down food prescription.
We were moving in that direction, hope to continue to move in that direction, where a lot of prescriptions that's being written would be for food, healthy food. And farmers local could be able to fill those prescriptions.
And it's a great pilot, and it's going to be here to stay in Mississippi.
Health is more than just a pharmaceutical pill or medicine. Health medicine is truly food. Easy to say you need to diet or change your diet, but it's very hard to do this when you have nothing to change it to. You still don't have access to grocery stores. You can't have these fresh vegetables. You still have to go and buy canned. You're still eating the same things because you have to eat. Bringing access with farms, with small plots, with raising in a bucket, raising in a pot, this is a way you can do things differently to help us fight diabetes and hypertension and heart disease. We have this mindset, it will be done. And with the power of this world and this earth, it will happen. And right here in Mississippi, we're trying to show and to make a difference, to know it can be done, and it can be done right here. In Mississippi, in cities, in rural areas, in your backyard, in your flower pots, in your coffee cans, we can make a difference. And it's all about knowledge and information and access.